Welcome, everyone, to Moricap channel. Today, we're going to take a look at an anime called God of High School. If you're ready, let's get started. At the beginning of the anime, we see a middle-aged man and two other people lying on a beach. The middle-aged man is negotiating with someone else, but they don't reach an agreement, and he hangs up the phone. One of the women giving massages is surprised to see birds in the sky. And after it gets dark, an incredible storm forms, and something attacks these people. Later, we see a man named Park Mu-Jin. We then go back in time to the present day when Jin Mo-Ri was a teenager. Jin wakes up and realizes he's running late when he looks at the clock. So he quickly gets on his bike and rushes to where he needs to go. The place he's heading to is the preliminaries of a competition called God of High School, where high school students fight, and the best are chosen. Another young man named Han Dae-Wi sets off for the preliminaries after finishing work. Just as Jin Mo-Ri, or Mori for short, is about to make it to the preliminaries, an elderly woman's wallet gets stolen, and Mori decides to catch the thief before going to the preliminaries. While chasing after the thief at full speed, Mori accidentally collides with Mira. After Mira catches him and gets angry, he explains the situation to her, and they decide to chase after the thief together. Just as Mira is about to catch the thief, she hits her head on a signboard. However, Han Dae-Wi, whom we saw earlier, renders the thief unconscious with a single punch, saving the day. Mori, Dae-Wi, and Mira enter the preliminaries together. And after the long-nosed man in charge gathers the students in the arena, he explains the rules and starts the fights. Strangely, he doesn't mention any groups or matchups. Later, we realize that the fights follow a survival of the fittest logic, where the last one standing wins. Everyone attacks each other, and we see the characters we previously met, as well as new contenders who stand out. The commissioners watching the preliminaries make a phone call and bring in a big man named Kong. While Kong is beating everyone up, Mira attacks him, and Kong does something to embarrass her. However, Mori does something even more embarrassing and pulls down Kang's pants, which leads to another fight. Mori attracts a lot of Kang's attention. Meanwhile, government officials examine a candidate in the shape of a hand and are surprised. And Mu-Jin, whom we saw before, enters the room. After the preliminaries, Mira gets angry at Mori and Dae-Wi for following her, but it turns out they live on the same street. During the preliminaries, we learn that Mira broke Mori's neck. Mori accidentally drops Mira's sword, and as a result, he receives a strong slap because this sword is an heirloom from Mira's father. Mira and Mori start searching for the sword, and Dae-Wi helps them. The next day, everyone gathers at the God of High School again, and in the first fights, Mori, Dae-Wi, Mira, Beck, and Misen win. Afterwards, they face a master fighter named Go-Gando and Kong in the ring. Gando makes the first attack and throws Kong out of the ring. However, before the countdown finishes, Kong re-enters the ring and realizes he can't handle Gando's kicks. He dislocates his tied arm and attacks Gando. Kong shatters the saying, "What good is having one hand?" by completely overpowering Gando and demanding an apology while grabbing him by the throat. Gando refuses, and Kong continues to beat him up, even breaking his arms. Just then Mori, unable to bear what's happening, kicks Kong from behind with a powerful kick, sending him out of the ring. Immediately after, the commissioners surround Mori and calmly tell him to leave the ring. However, Kong, who is infuriated, uses a technique called chariot to attack Mori. Just as the commissioners are about to protect Mori, he steps forward to face Kong and defeats him. Gando weakens and can't continue in the tournament, while Kong is mentally broken and gets eliminated. The exact punishment for Mori is still uncertain. We see that there is a fight between Mira and Mizian, and once the fight begins, Mizian beats Mira relentlessly with great strength, causing Myra's sword to fall out of the ring. However, things take a surprising turn because Mira is much stronger without her sword and incapacitates Mu-Jin with incredible blows, winning the match. Meanwhile, the commissioners decide on the punishment for Mo-Ri. If Mo-Ri can win a fight against the green-haired commissioner named Judge Q, he will be allowed to return to the tournament. Mu-Jin gives Mo-Ri some fruits to eat, but we learn that these fruits are not ordinary. After eating the fruits, Mo-Ri starts vomiting blood and collapses. The next match is between Dae-Wi and Baek, and after an intense battle, Baek falls to the ground. Instead of attacking, Dae-Wi helps him, surprising Baek. However, Baek quickly changes tactics and launches a furious attack with his crazy staff. The situation quickly shifts, and Dae-Wi achieves a magnificent victory against Baek with incredible power. Mo-Ri begins his fight with Commissioner Q, and within a few milliseconds of the fight starting, Mo-Ri knocks off Commissioner Q's glasses and sends him to the ground, which Q doesn't like at all. Commissioner Q loses control and creates a terrifying monster to fight Mo-Ri using his chariot power. The monster is about to strike a terrifying blow against Mo-Ri, when the other commissioners hold it back and save Mo-Ri. Since Mu-Jin loses control, he deducts money from Commissioner Q's salary and declares Mo-Ri as the winner. Mo-Ri is now able to return to the tournament. On the way out, Mo-Ri, Mira, and Dae-Wi are walking when a rich-looking man with purple hair gets out of his car and declares his love for Mira. This man's name is Song, and he also announces that he will introduce Mira as the sole heir of the moon sword technique to the whole world. Mira, valuing the moon sword technique, agrees to this, surprising Mo-Ri. Thinking that Mira is unhappy, he opposes it. The wedding day arrives, and Mira's brother asks Song to cancel the wedding, but Mira is determined to proceed with it. Mo-Ri arrives at the wedding, and the guards try to stop him. In response, Mo-Ri fights the guards, but cannot use his taekwondo skills. Dae-Wi comes to his aid and beats up the guards, and they both crash the wedding. Song attacks them, but Dae-Wi stops him. After their conversation, Mira changes her mind and decides to cancel the wedding. This angers Song, and he attacks them using his chariot power, but Mira renders him powerless with her special technique. Song steals Mira's hairpin, but Mira disregards it, believing that her father's spirit lives within her. We see that Dae-Wi entered the tournament to save his friend who has cancer, and today his friend's heart has stopped but has been revived. A group of young people who used to bully him comes to taunt Dae-Wi again, but he mercilessly beats them unconscious. On the day of the fight, Mo-Ri runs inside, saying he's late, and when the doors open with excitement to watch Dae-Wi's fight with Mira, he sees Dae-Wi brutally beating Mira. Mira falls to the ground, covered in blood. Mo-Ri is not happy to see this. 2 years ago, we see that Dae-Wi and Sung-Ti, who is currently sick, used to fight constantly, but they also had a bond. When it's Mo-Ri's turn to fight, the battle ends quickly, and it is announced that the final fight will be between Dae-Wi and Mo-Ri. Mo-Ri visits Mira, and she calms him down. The final fight of the preliminary rounds begins, and Mo-Ri attacks Dae-Wi with all his might, while Dae-Wi refuses to back down. Fists and kicks collide at an incredible speed, and the intensity increases. The commissioners discuss how the two young fighters' battle has lasted equally. Mo-Ri receives a solid blow and cleanses his mouth, telling Dae-Wi that he will repay him for what he did to Mira. Then he launches a high-speed attack against Dae-Wi, knocking him down. When Mo-Ri extends his hand to help him up, Dae-Wi tells him, "I never saw you as my friend," and uses his special technique, the Black Turtle, to attack Mo-Ri. Meanwhile, Mira is discharged from the hospital, and as she is about to leave, she notices that there is another person undergoing nano-treatment at the hospital due to the bracelet on her arm. She discovers that Dae-Wi's friend, Sung-Ti, has died. At the same time, Dae-Wi forcefully throws Mo-Ri to the ground, but Mo-Ri manages to get up. Mu-Jin informs Dae-Wi about his friend's death, and Dae-Wi experiences deep sorrow. He remembers the times he fought back-to-back with Sung-Ti. Dae-Wi continues the fight, and just then, Mira calls out to Dae-Wi and hands him Sung-Ti's letter. After reading the letter, Dae-Wi engages in an incredible fight with Mo-Ri, both of them using their magnificent techniques. Afterward, the winner of the fight is Jin Mo-Ri, and Dae-Wi takes his hand. Mira, Mo-Ri, and Dae-Wi leave the ring together. In the forest somewhere, a group of cult members offers a proposal to Mo-Ri's grandfather, but he refuses. Mo-Ri wonders where his grandfather is at home. The preliminary rounds of God of High School have ended, and the national tournament is about to begin. They learn that the national tournament will be a team battle with 3 members. Jae-hee and Mira fight to determine the 3rd member, and Mira wins the fight. After having a meal, Mo-Ri is asked why he wants to win this tournament. He replies that being stronger is cooler. Meanwhile, a mysterious old man passes by them. He is Mu-Jin's master. Mo-Ri encounters Mu-Jin's master while practicing. Bangsa, the tournament host, meets Mira while explaining how to use the moonlight sword technique. Mira is surprised and asks how Bangsa knows all this. Bangsa reveals that his blindness is due to the moonlight sword technique. Then, as Bangsa is about to leave, a man approaches him, and it seems that his request is to fight. After that, we are introduced to new characters one by one, and each of them appears to be very strong. The fight begins, and we realize that the host is different because Bangsa has died, and Commissioner Q has also died. And here, we come to the end of our summary. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.